Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everyone. You want a lemonade and iced tea mixed together. Good. We'll have an Arnold Palmer. Good morning, John. Good morning, McRangers. Yeah, the dollar yen's up. Yen's weakening, and the dollar is strengthening. Dollar massive strengthening overnight and this morning. Crude's pulling back. Thank you for putting this in. And thank you for putting in all the earnings. Sterling. Good morning, Jacob. TSMC found the leaker, found the chip leaker. Coca-Cola was a beat. General Dynamics was a misbeat. Good morning. There you go. Trump on Joe Rogan on Friday. Yep. I'm not going to go through all of these, but Boeing's just a disaster of a company, right? Completely mismanaged. Euro continues to drop. The double officially completed, and closing below 62.5 harmonics, so we could see some more downside even after short little pop rallies. What else do we have? AT&T missed on revenue, so Donald Trump is now leading Kamala Harris by 20 percentage points, according to political trading market. How do you say that? Kalshi? I don't know how to say that. CME, interesting enough, also missed on revenue. What else? You These companies should just stay in their lane. Netflix back has a plan to develop blockbuster video game. What? I don't even know why they were going down that road. Patrick, good morning. All right, let's skip some of these. Winnebago, the key thing was they're guiding lower, guiding lower. Well, yeah, they linked the E. coli linked to McDonald's right after Trump was at McDonald's too. Well, timing is everything on things. Good morning. Good morning, Royal Palms. Good morning, Mark. What else do we have? Hello, Charles. What else do we have? Good morning. That's a good point. The Chipotle got hammered. This is I would not try to follow good advice, Sterling. Do not try to catch the falling knives at McDonald's. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Ted. All right, we got through all of that. All right, let me get this out of the way. What else do we have? We have the mortgage information coming out this morning. Again, 6.52. Now mortgage rates are closer to 6.9. 6.9, and the housing market was already in the dumps. This is just, remember when everybody said Fed rate cuts, mortgages are going down. Well, mortgages are tied to the 10-year, and the 10-year been going up because things are trading like inflation is going to come back. We got Bowman speaking right about now. If anybody sees anything that Bowman says, let me know. You got existing home sales coming out in about 50 minutes. It'll be interesting to see where that comes out. Then we got the EIA numbers. Overall, we got Barkin speaking this afternoon, but overall, very quiet day. We got the Fed beige book. Not really going to be market moving, but always interesting to look in to see if there's any tidbits in there that are interesting. The overall market map. There you go. McDonald's down 6%. Starbucks also down 3.84%. Coke after earnings down 2.23. We had Texas Instruments yesterday with earnings. It was a beat up 2.75. Mega caps mixed today. Mixed mega caps. Overall, really, let's just do a quick refresh in this. But comm service is just barely positive, 6 basis points, but everything else is negative. S&P still barely holding key support. Still 25 basis point cut at 91%. Fear and greed still solidly in greed. P ratio still above 37. All right, Sterling again put in all the key things today, even ones I didn't go over. Tesla's after the close. Mega cap, so that will be important. That will be important. All right. We also have American Airlines, especially watch UPS tomorrow. We have unemployment numbers tomorrow. Watch UPS also. Very key with any guidance they give, since they still deliver a ton of packages. So keep an eye on that even if you don't trade it. All right. S&P, we still have the little mini potential double in place. It's getting a little extended to the right, but if this were to trigger today or tomorrow morning, it could still be a quick little play against the rotation zone. We've had a couple dip buying. We have not been able to follow through on any downside. We're still getting the dip buying, but if this breaks, especially if it breaks with any momentum, uh, going to be watching for this double to trigger. Until that, your key support area is roughly about 35, 58.62, 58.62 to about 58.65. We start losing that, I'm really going to be focused on more of a downward play. Remember, we also have weekly cycles rolling down. Weekly cycles rolling down, and this double could take it back exactly to the weekly rotation zone. Other than that, same thing as yesterday. On a shorter term basis, I'm using the harmonics. You see, yesterday we came up. Again, I talked about 5,900. Little poke above it. Then look at all the trading between the harmonics. Just that's the levels. I'm not going to repeat them. They're the same as yesterday, but that's exactly what I am utilizing. The NASDAQ. This has turned into a triple. This is a mess right now. So the NASDAQ, it's really, if we start selling off from here, I'm looking at this area of about 20K as the key support. So that would be the first target if we start breaking, especially below uh, the rotation zone. Especially below the rotation zone. So just watch around 20,250. We start getting below there, we're watching for a pretty potential quick trip to 20K. Other than that, on a daily basis today, I'm going to be watching 20,354 on a closing basis to tip the probabilities, but all this buying pressure in the rotation zone. See, we have not been below the rotation zone since we closed back above it on September 11th. We've dipped into it multiple times, but no close below it. So that's very key what I'll be watching for if we pull back, not just today, but this week. The Dow, trying to hold on to key support, but chipping away at it. The little projection levels, if we continue to sell off, I'm using 42,857 as minor, and then 42,776 to 42,799 as key, very key support. So those are the levels I'm looking at there for right now. Other than that, on any bounce, I'd use retracement harmonics, and the first minor level would be 42,988. More significant is 43,073. And then the breakdown zone is 43,150. Russell, keep an eye on this. If you're a Russell trader, we do have a potential mini double bottom. Still valid. Let me double check. Still valid. If we trade below 229, 22.2950, it's off the table. But it would need a bounce and then a follow through close above 22.52.3 on a 4-hour basis to officially trigger. That's the only potential little bullish sign. Remember, we're losing the rotation zone, and the Russell could see, if the Russell, we have the 62.5 right here, 2230.2. So if we close below that, especially on the daily basis, we'll be watching for a retest of the beginning of October low area. VIX, not much to talk about. DAX, confirmed, might trigger the double today. Lower probability since against the rotation zone, but this is a mini double still within a bigger double. So, and this could start really rolling over in the DAX, but it hasn't officially triggered yet. Yesterday confirmed, but still closing above it. The notes, look at this. The notes finally reconnecting with the 200. I've talked about that for a long time. I updated the harmonics. The next key support in harmonics is 110.19. We still, daily cycles getting to the bottom. We still are getting back into oversold territory. I am watching, especially as we get to later on this week, for potential bounce, short-term bounce plays in the note futures, which would mean a pullback in the yield. There's just nothing yet. Yield 4.24. I updated the harmonics on here. The next key level is 4.27. Just as I'm going to be watching for a potential short-term bottom in the notes, I'm going to be watching for a short-term top in the yields. And that could be only short-term pause. Remember, it might just go sideways. Very key support now coming in back at about 4.15. Dollar index, look at this. Look at this. So today, yesterday's stalling right at the 62.5 with no close above it, but today following through, unless we get a major reversal in the dollar index, looks like it's going to close above the 62.5. So then continuing, I mean, I was bullish from down here, but continuing on any pullbacks, even a pullback to 103.50 area, would be watching for rotations back up if we close above that 62.5, because that tips the probabilities where we could easily retest this high area from back in June and in April. Crude, little rally yesterday. Now we've established a very key support base at 70 bucks. You still have words that, Israel's gonna hit Iran. That's started the rally. We did not get as far as the pullback that I was looking for, but unless we really break above 72 with momentum, that's actually what I'm watching for, a breakout play. Until that happens, I'm still watching for a continued possible weakness in here. But depending on when Iran launches against Iran and what they hit, Israel launches against Iran and what they hit, if they hit oil stuff, then we could see some oil take off higher. Gold. After another push higher, the double that never triggered or confirmed is off the table. So now your key support in gold is about 27.25. Where we hit the next harmonic area, we need another pausing bar. We need another pausing bar. We might be setting up for it. With overbought, we have a very strong divergence up here with cycles rolling over. Now, this is not a major top pattern yet, okay? But we could be setting up a minor pullback. I would not be chasing gold at this point. I'd be watching for the pullback. What else? Anything else? Good morning, Heinrich. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for tuning in. Chipotle doesn't always go up. It went down for quite a while. Now it's been going up. Do I think the Iran-Israel tension? No, I don't think that has much to do with the yields. I think it's more that people think inflation, especially, remember, the bond market is the biggest market in the world. And they're generally smarter than the equity market. So at least they don't see inflation subsiding as much. So remember, if let's say inflation gets stuck around 3% for some of the core, are you going to tie up money at a 10-year or only earning, where were the yields? I mean, if you see inflation getting sticky around 3% even, that's not even climbing back. Were you going to tie up money at 3.6, 3.7 if core? You're going to take only 70 basis points over a 10-year with core inflation? No. You're going to want more of a premium. So that's where it's more tied to inflationary, and now we got a strong dollar again. It's very, very interesting. The market's just out of sync because you normally have a little more weakness in the equities with yields climbing like this, but we don't yet. Keep an eye. The Also, yields on the 10-year for the Japanese yen are closing back in on 100 basis points. And look at the weakening. We're almost to the final target. This is a target area because we have very key resistance in here, and you have the 62.5. So I'm going to be watching if this continues. So not in a straight line, but if we do get that close above 153.56, technically the probabilities have shifted that we could continue to see more yen weakening and return to the toppy area from July. Right now, I'm just pulling off these final targets on here because we have the 62.5 right there. So we know where the final target was from the inverse head and shoulders. The euro coming on down. We closed a couple days ago below the 62.5, continuing lower. This is what I've talked about before. This could be turned into a potentially longer term, lower trade with the magnet price being 106.80 area. So on any rallies, I'm again still looking for rollover. Now we are getting pretty significant divergence. We are getting, you know, with the push lower. So I'd be watching for any bounce plays, but they'd be bounce plays for rollovers unless something drastically changes. Not much to talk about Bitcoin coming back to very key support. With that, we'll be watching for if we do, especially tomorrow, if we do break above and follow through with a close above today's highs. That's what we'll be watching tomorrow. Nothing much with Ethereum. Ethereum still has a negative price action probability still, even though it has not been able to break through this key first level target. Spiders, you still have the little mini double top in place. Other than that, using the harmonics as I talked about yesterday, we don't need to review that. Nothing's really changed. This is just off the table. If this does trigger, if we get a break below the daily rotation zone, really just watch for the close below the daily rotation zone, and front run would be 491.27. If we get the close though, we need to follow through with the close below 488, and then the key target area would be right to here. At least my key target area would be right to here. You got a gap left behind. You have this spike low with the follow through close up, and then you have a down day with an up gap left behind. So the target I would be utilizing is 482. Technically, the exact target is 482.10. Gold 4-hour double top. No, there's no double top here. This is off the table. It extended too far. So you just can't use the targets. Okay, so I'd be watching if gold does break below the rotation zone. Based off the 4-hour, you're looking at 27.35. Have a friend who works at UPS in Maryland in a large tent after a huge pay increase, have been building out new building with huge robotics and AI improvements and layoffs and limited hiring. Yep. Yeah, they got their big bump. Remember that? They got their big bump. And what are the companies going to do? Well, we're going to remedy this in other ways. Let's remember the port strike. Hold on, I just had to check something. Sorry about that. The port strike, that's why they didn't want automation. But that's going to not end well. What else do we have? We have Tesla reporting. After hours, the only bullish thing is a little mini potential double bottom. If Tesla does miss, though, the key magnet price for me is 200. 200, 201 area. All right. So, NVIDIA still trying to single-handedly hold up the market. So, key support is back at 138. Well, I guess why would he go into Boeing will probably have to do a capital raise. I'm sorry, the CEO, that CEO's run it into the ground. The culture there is, it's not supportive of a strong company. That's where we sit. Let's just take a look. AT&T reported there's no great setups here. Nothing really great there. Coke, which was the beat, is actually rolling over. I was seeing if we're going to get back above 70.62, but we're rolling over. I'm starting to focus on Coke over the next little while. Re looking for rallies to be sold and go head back to its 200 area. This, you know, once we really get below this weekly rotation zone, we'll be watching for the continued pullback. Coke is still not a cheap company, and it didn't beat by that much. I mean, you're paying 28 bucks, and it's even though it beat earnings, it's not growing that fast. So that's really about it. Let's peek back at the S&P. My big thing is if we lose this recent support, if we lose this buying pressure from the last couple days, we could start seeing the sell off. Remember, weekly cycles are rolling over. That does not mean crash mode. That means we could finally get to at least see, we've had one, two, three, four, five, 6 straight up weeks. And we only have one down week here. So it was a pretty decent down week back at the beginning of September. But if you take out that week, look at all the green. We have not even had a multi-week pullback. So overall, remember, if we do start getting that bigger pullback, I'm watching for a reconnection with the weekly rotation zone, which is about 57.85. That's what I'm watching. With that, I shall talk to everyone later. Have a wonderful, wonderful trading day. Remember also, once we get through today, do not ignore tomorrow. Tomorrow's probably one of the key days. We got Tesla earnings after the close, which will set some tones for tomorrow. And we got composite manufacturing and services from the smaller to mid-sized companies. We got Kansas City Fed tomorrow, and we got jobless claims. So, do we not have? Oh, we do have Fed speak tomorrow also. Yeah, we can't even get a day without Fed speaks. All right, I'll talk to everyone later. Bye for now.